Have you ever seen something that just shouldn't exist? A place that breaks all the rules? For countless generations, nestled in Bolivia's Andean peaks, Puma Punku has been the landmark that captures imagination. A field of shattered megaliths, cut with laser-like precision. H-shaped blocks weighing tons, interlocking like a giant's puzzle, all supposedly carved by a civilization with no metal tools. It's been the smoking gun for ancient alien theorists, the ultimate mystery that defied all logical explanation. How do you cut volcanic rock harder than granite with 90-degree interior angles? Moving a 131-ton stone without wheels or cranes, how is that even possible? The answer, for many, had to come from the stars. But they were all asking the wrong question, the smoking gun that rewrites all of human history. In 2025, a team of scientists, armed with next-generation technology, finally found the secret. They found something impossible. The truth isn't about lost civilizations or extraterrestrial power tools. It's about a lost science. A form of chemical engineering so advanced, it's taken us 1,000 years to even realize it existed. What they uncovered rewrites not just the story of Puma Punku, but the story of human ingenuity itself. For decades, the debate was always a dead end, a circular argument focused entirely on the tools. What kind of impossible drill or futuristic saw could have made these intricate cuts? Every theory, from thousands of laborers with bronze chisels to extraterrestrials with laser beams, ultimately failed to explain all the evidence. The mystery was a solid brick wall. But in 2025, a new team decided to stop looking at the wall and start analyzing the bricks. They chose to ignore the tools and scrutinize the material itself. Using specialized drills, they took core samples, not from the weathered, 1,000-year-old surface, but from deep inside the pristine heart of the most mysterious blocks, the hard, gray andesite 8 blocks. They placed these samples under a scanning electron microscope, expecting to see the familiar, dense, crystalline pattern of cooled volcanic magma. Bonded within the crystalline matrix of this volcanic rock was organic matter. Not contamination on the surface, but complex carbon-based compounds woven directly into the stone. The kind of stuff that comes from living things, like plants. Let that sink in. Andesite is an igneous rock. It's born from scorching hot magma at temperatures that incinerate any organic material instantly. It simply cannot happen. That was the smoking gun. The definitive, incontrovertible proof that this was not natural stone. The Tiwanaku builders hadn't found a way to carve impossible rock. They had found a way to make their own, deconstructing the lost alchemical formula of the sky gods. This discovery blew the case wide open. Puma Punku wasn't a work of masonry. It was a work of chemistry. The science team began to reverse engineer the recipe, and what they found was nothing short of genius. This wasn't crude cement poured into the earth. It was something far more advanced, a geopolymer, a man-made stone engineered centuries before its time. The Incas hadn't just stacked boulders, they had altered matter itself. Each block fused seamlessly with the next, joints so precise that even a razor blade could not slip between them. This was not construction, it was alchemy. The analysis revealed a complex formula. The bulk of it was aggregate, things like andesitic sand and volcanic tuff, ground up rock that was easily available near the site. It was an organo-mineral binder with 2 key parts. First, they created an alkaline cement. They took local red clays and reacted them with sodium carbonate salts. The chemical signature of these salts was so unique, they traced it to a specific source, Laguna Cachi, a salt lake far away in the Altiplano Desert. This explains why minerals were found in the blocks that didn't exist in the local geology. They weren't there naturally. They were imported ingredients. The second part was even more incredible. An organic plasticizer. Ancient Andean legends have always spoken of plant extracts that could soften stone. Scientists had dismissed these as myths, but they weren't. The analysis found evidence of natural organic acids, likely extracted from local plants, mixed into the slurry. This organic goo acted as a hardening agent, allowing the wet mixture to be worked and shaped before it set into a material as hard as, well, rock. How to build a megalith without lifting a single stone. Once you understand the stones are artificial, the entire mystery of Puma Punku collapses like a house of cards. All the impossible problems simply vanish. Think about the precision. Those flawless lines and perfect right angles weren't the result of painstaking, impossible carving. They were the shape of the mold. The builders would create highly accurate molds out of wood or packed earth, and then pour the wet geopolymer slurry inside. The liquid mixture would fill every nook and cranny, creating crisp, perfect angles every single time. What about the strange small holes carved into the stones that continue to puzzle experts? They're likely vents for air to escape the mold during the pour. And what about the biggest problem of all? Transportation. How do you move a 131-ton block 10 kilometers without the wheel? You don't. Instead of an army of thousands struggling to haul a single megalith, imagine small teams of workers and llama caravans transporting manageable bags of sand, clay, and salt to the construction site. Rather than moving colossal stones, they may have simply formed them on-site with geopolymer. It solved the transport dilemma in the most elegant way possible. The H-blocks weren't carved, they were mass-produced, like LEGOS. Of all the strange and wonderful features at Puma Punku, the enigmatic H-blocks are the most iconic. Nothing represents the mystery of this place more clearly than they do. Scattered across the landscape, these stones are so uniform in their complex dimensions that they appear to have come from a factory. This baffling consistency and their interlocking design have always hinted at some form of prefabrication, a concept that seemed utterly anachronistic for a pre-industrial Andean culture. But with the discovery of geopolymer casting, this puzzle snaps into place with perfect clarity. The builders didn't need to painstakingly carve dozens of identical, complex blocks. They only needed to create one perfect master mold, likely from intricately carved wood or densely packed earth. By using this single, standardized mold over and over again, they could mass-produce hundreds of identical, perfectly interlocking components. It's the ancient equivalent of a modern factory production line, allowing for a level of precision and replication that carving could never achieve. This wasn't just for show. This modular system was an incredible feat of structural engineering. The interlocking design, like giant stone Legos, created structures that were strong and mortarless, with a built-in flexibility. The technique made the constructions incredibly resistant to the earthquakes of the Andes. Puma Punku wasn't just a temple built stone by stone. It was a sophisticated architectural system assembled from precisely engineered, factory-made components. The paradox of the missing advanced tools is also solved. They weren't needed. The primary tools of the Puma Punku builders weren't chisels and hammers, but mixing pots, grinding stones, and the profound chemical knowledge to turn mud into mountains. The true genius of Puma Punku. So, the mystery is finally solved. And the answer isn't aliens. It's not a lost global superpower. The answer is human ingenuity, but of a kind we never imagined. The Tiwanaku people were not just master stonemasons. They were pioneering materials scientists who developed a technological path completely different from the rest of the world. Unlike most civilizations that emphasized metallurgy and mechanics, Tiwanaku's strength was in chemical mastery. This discovery doesn't shrink the mystery of Puma Punku. It magnifies its wonder. It forces us to reconsider what technology even means, and to recognize the incredible scientific achievements of indigenous cultures that have been underestimated for centuries. The greatest secret of Puma Punku wasn't a secret of the stars. It was a secret of the Earth, a lost science written in artificial stone that proves the most extraordinary things in our history were not done by visitors from other worlds, but by the brilliant ancestors of the people who still walk the land today. Thanks for joining us on this incredible journey of discovery. If this story blew your mind, be sure to hit that like button, subscribe, and ring the bell so you don't miss our next deep dive into the world's greatest mysteries. What other ancient sites might be hiding a similar secret? Let us know in the comments below. Until next time, stay curious.